I always been making music, but like just in the behind the scenes, like perfecting my craft and shit like that.
Before YBN Cordae would drop tracks like Target, Kung Fu, Scottie Pippen, and gain attention from the entire hip-hop community by dropping a response track to J. Cole's 1985, which currently has 9.5 million views on YouTube. Before Cordae would join the YBN crew alongside Namir and Almighty Jay.
You feel me? Jay blowing up, and now Cordae coming up too, so you feel me? We just got a bunch of coming soon.
Before he would have the goal to be the best rapper to ever do it, have 50 Cent wanting to talk to him about signing a record deal, and spend his 21st birthday in the studio with Dr. Dre. Before he would gain over 90k followers on Twitter and almost 1 million followers on Instagram. At the time of recording, he has around 964,000. YBN Cordae became a scholar of hip-hop, learning everything he could about the game from YouTube's recommended section, and perfecting his craft over the years. It wasn't until 2018 that he decided to go all in on his rap dream, and it's paid off big time as he's gained industry-wide respect from both the newer and older generation. And personally, he's one of the only guys from the newer generation of rappers who I actually listen to. But how did he go from hating his life in college and working minimum wage jobs to being in one of the hottest rap groups in the game? Well, you clicked on the right video.
Okay, I'm the type to come in the game in his launch pain with a bronze frame and a tattoo of my mom's name.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching this. And if you're wondering who this discount Michael McCrudden clone is, I'm fresh out of the next gen clone facility just so Michael can make more videos. I'm clone number 134627. But on the real, I'm Jeremy Hecht, and I'm filling in as your host today for Mike on Before They Were Famous, and I'm excited to take you through the life and career of YBN Cordae prior to fame. In the past, the team has made other videos on the YBN members, including Namir and Almighty Jay, so check those out after you finish watching this one to get to know rap's hottest new group. And let us know who's up next in the comments so we can document them for you. I'll see you on the other side of the intro.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom!
YBN Cordae was born Cordae Dunstan on August 26, 1997 in Zebulon, North Carolina, 20 minutes from Raleigh. His mom had him when she was just 15 years old, so he was raised in the early years by his mother and grandmother. Around the age of 5, he and his family moved to South Carolina, later moving to Suitland, Maryland at around the age of 9. Being from the country, he said that going to elementary school in Maryland a few minutes from DC was a huge adjustment for him.
Which was like a huge adjustment from being a country boy. Now I'm like 3 minutes from DC. First week I get there, my mom's car gets stolen. Like I said, 3 times in 1 week, I'm pissed.
At that age, he was playing around with the idea of rapping, watching rappers like 50 Cent and Ja Rule, who probably weren't getting along very well at the time. At 10, he wrote his first raps, but it wasn't until later on that he would fall in love with hip-hop, citing YouTube's recommended section as the place where he became a hip-hop scholar.
But we have this like really cool thing called YouTube and the recommended section. So that's kind of how I got into hip hop.
His stepfather would play legends like Nas, Rakim, Big L, Talib Kweli, Jay-Z, and Tupac. And Cordae even cites Eminem, Big L, and Nas as his top 3 rappers of all time. After hearing these rappers in his crib, he would do research of his own and spend hours in YouTube wormholes looking it up and learning about rappers like Kool G Rap, Jedi Mind Tricks, and even says the Jay-Z and Nas beef was a big inspiration. Actually, how I really got into hip-hop and how I became a hip-hop scholar was I was really interested in the Nas and Jay-Z beef. I'm attracted to ignorance or whatever, but that just made me really become a huge Nas fan. And then YouTube's recommended section, you can get lost in there. That's when Big L popped up. That's when I really fell in love with hip-hop. I'm glad his YouTube time was productive because when I was 13, all I would do was look at conspiracy theories for hours, which I can't talk about on here because I still think that I know too much. But anyways, later on, he would be inspired by the newer generation of rappers, including Kanye, Kendrick, and of course Cudi, like so many others, including myself. After his mother got a government job and started making more money, their family moved to Waldorf, Maryland, where Dunstan would finish high school. He was in AP honor classes and did really well in school, getting all A's and B's. Cordae recorded his first song at the age of 16 under the name of Entendre. His friends suggested the moniker because of his ability to rap complex lyrics using metaphors, similes, and of course double entendres. But he later called the name the worst rap name of all time.
Because entendre is like a super whack name. That's like for real, bro, the name is
At this time, he was inspired by Joey Badass and capital C's of the pro-era movement, RIP to the legend Steez. One of his first ever tracks was recorded over Mos Def's Umi Says instrumental. Cordae was actually spotted in the studio with Joey recently, and that music is gonna produce some crazy bars. In 2014, he released his first mixtape under the name Entendre called Anxiety, following that up with I'm So Anxious in 2016 and I'm So Anonymous in 2017. In 2018, he could call his album I'm So Synonymous with Greatness. He definitely shouldn't call his album that, but I was just trying to be clever, you know. Let's forget that happened. So after high school, Cordae headed to Townsend University in Maryland, where he was studying mass communications. He stated that going to college was something bigger than him. In his Hard Knock TV interview with Nick Huff, he said, "My dad got his GED from jail. My mom had me when she was like 16, so she finished high school, but none of my parents have a college degree. My grandma is like 90 and she had to drop out of school in the 3rd grade, so I was gonna be the first generation to graduate college. So it was sort of like a bigger than me type thing." While in college, he worked at Texas Roadhouse and TGI Fridays and didn't even have time to record music, but he always felt like he was destined for more. During college, he connected with YBN Namir through social media, and the two quickly became friends. In college, he was skipping class to fly to LA, where he stayed at Namir's place, and they would link up whenever they were in the same city. He even missed a couple of big midterm tests because of these visits. Cordae and Namir officially met in person at the time that Namir was blowing up online with songs like Rubbing Off the Paint. Cordae recorded music with their mutual friend Simba, and Namir recognized him through that. The YBN Collective actually started through Xbox Live, when Namir would post his GTA live streams to YouTube and freestyle over them.
Like, we used to play the Xbox sometimes, and we gained a bunch of relationships in person and on the internet, and it just happened. Like,
now there are currently 10 members of the crew, including promoters, rappers, and friends, but the big 3 are Almighty J, Namir, and Cordae. Cordae told Complex, "It's a brotherhood, a movement. It's a movement of brothers." And I couldn't agree more. If you're curious as to what YBN stands for, I'm gonna have to cue the guys for this one.
Young boss niggas, yo. It's an acronym, bro. Young boss full of young bosses. You know what I'm saying?
YBN Namir and YBN Almighty J were big gamers, but Cordae says he's more of a 2K and Madden guy.
I wasn't on the Xbox like these fucking nerds. It's
Right.
like, nah.
After becoming good friends with Namir and Jay, Namir suggested that the only thing left to do before making him an official member of the crew was to change his social media handles to YBN Cordae.
I was already YBN without the social tag, you know what I'm saying? He was like, bro, just change the social to that. And I'm like, all right, f it, let's do it.
The crew has been called the hottest young rap group by many, each bringing their own unique style to the game, with Almighty J creating turn-up music and having his name all over the headlines, at one point dating Black China, Namir having the street lane, and Cordae is the lyrical, thought-provoking guy.
All that rap beef, shooting shit, nah, I ain't with none of that. I'm the lyrical nigga, man. I don't gotta deal with none of that bullshit. I just watch from the sidelines and laugh my ass off.
After seeing the success of his fellow YBN members, Cordae decided to officially drop out of college to pursue his dream of rapping. He told his mom at the beginning of this year that this would be his last year of working. He said that, and then a week later, he got fired from his job. He said that he was thinking to himself, if I can just be a rapper full-time, it's over. But his real introduction to the mainstream hip-hop world, and the video that had his name buzzing all over the internet, was his response to fellow North Carolina legendary spitter J. Cole's 1985, which was widely believed to be aimed at the younger generation of mumble rappers, specifically Lil Pump, who had been one of the leaders of the J. Cole campaign. And yes, that was actually a real movement that was going on Twitter. Cordae wrote his verses replying to Cole as a member of the younger generation who can actually spit, as he provided some perspective on why his generation acts a certain way. And he even criticizes some of his heroes from the older generation, including Kanye and R. Kelly. And on May 16th, he released the video via WorldStar and YouTube, which now has a combined 10+ million views. He was inspired to write the track after getting a flat tire, and his older neighbor helped him out. The two had an insightful conversation about their generational gap and found some middle ground. He realized that more conversations like this needed to be had, and as soon as the 1985 instrumental remake was released on YouTube, Cordae made a track with the aims of bridging the hip-hop generational gap. I guess you could say that conversation really got the wheels turning, huh? Alright, I guess I'll leave then. I had to come back just to finish the video for you guys, so anyways, on aiming to bridge the generational gap, he stated, "Why are we always going at each other and hitting each other's head off when at the end of the day, we're both facing the same oppressions, we're both marginalized by society, we both are looked at the same way, so we're still stuck in the same boat. We still go through the same shit, so why the fuck are we going at each other?" He went on to release singles Kung Fu, Fighting Temptations, and Scottie Pippen, which had a video shot by Cole Bennett, whose work has been synonymous with blowing up SoundCloud rappers. The video currently has 9.3 million views on YouTube. When speaking about the type of music he makes, Cordae told Pigeons and Planes that it's soulful shit that the average human being can relate to. There's no way I'ma play that shit if you're not about to nod your head, and if you're not about to feel that shit in your soul and in your heart of hearts. On June 19th, Cordae headed up to the LA Leakers show on Power 106 in Los Angeles. Shout out to Justin Credible and DJ Sour Milk at my old workplace, where he freestyled over a diverse beat selection from Kendrick Lamar's Duckworth to Lil Pump's Let's Get It, and continued to impress the hip-hop community.
YBN Cordae, yeah. Hey, I need a new Bugatti for the few who got me. Killing beats is a ruthless hobby. You say your shooters copy, never do a sloppy. Drum a kid like they do karate.
On September 26th, Cordae released his single Target with the music video premiering on Worldstar Hip Hop. The song received a combined 3 million views and details an encounter with a racist cop who pulls him over and interrogates him. It reminds me a bit of Jay-Z's verse on 99 Problems, where he's rapping from the perspective of a racist cop. When speaking on the encounter from the video, he told Billboard, "It's based on a true story. I was in college and driving, but I didn't know my license was suspended. It was homecoming weekend, so I had 5 of my homies in the car. I just wanted to put that into song form and felt that was the best way to express how I felt. It made me realize that many encounters are like that." He ended up not going to jail even after 3 separate court dates. At the 2018 BET Hip Hop Awards, Cordae had one of the standout verses in the cypher, even bringing his inhaler with him to prep for the fire that he was about to spit. And as a fellow asthmatic, I completely understand.
Okay.
Although the YBN Collective released YBN the Mixtape on September 8, 2018, Cordae has been taking his time working on his solo album and has been spotted in the studio with Dr. Dre. It was fire. It was at his house for 20 hours straight. I love working with him because it's like going through basketball drills. I felt myself getting better by the hour. Dre's working with me on this solo project. That's a mentor of mine. He had all his Grammy plaques and I've never seen one in person before, which was motivational. As for what's next, Cordae has said multiple times that he wants Grammys, platinum plaques, and has even said that he wants to be the greatest of all time and the greatest artist of his generation. I want to make a change in people's lives. If I can help someone get through a bad day or some tough times by listening to my music, that would be super dope. But personally, I want to be the biggest artist ever, the most impactful, best artist in every facet of music. All the accolades, classic albums, all that shit. All that while staying true to myself and true to my music. I want to be the king of this shit.
I really want to be like the best artist of my generation, the greatest of my generation. So I got to put in my 10,000 hours, put in a whole lot of work and do what I got to do it.
But he also recognizes that he needs to put in a lot of work to get there and is more than willing to do whatever it takes. He talks a lot about putting in his 10,000 hours and watching his growth in such a short time. I believe it. But as for the rest of his story, well, we'll have to wait and see because this is before they were famous. My name is Jeremy Hecht. Dream good, live better, and be sure to hit me up on Insta or Twitter and let me know who you want me to cover next on this channel. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. It's a wrap.